So you've probably heard what a social media marketing agency is, and you've probably heard that it can make you a lot of money, but do you know exactly what it is? That's what we're going to discuss today. I'm going to explain to you today what exactly a social media marketing agency does, what a social media marketing agency owner does, and what exactly it offers to businesses. And I also want to touch on the time that I spend as an agency owner and where I spend that time and what I spend my time doing. Because once you understand what exactly it is, what services you can offer, then you can look at how you can actually start. But like with anything in life, you have to understand the fundamentals first and understand the subject matter before you jump in and dive into the deep end. This is especially important when you're trying to create an online business and really create for yourself a predictable income. So if you want to build a business that is going to support your dream lifestyle, you're going to have to know the fundamentals. Okay, so let's jump into a very basic understanding and brief overview of what social media marketing is. Okay, so essentially what you are doing as an agency owner is you're offering services, and what you're doing usually is offering marketing services to businesses. Okay, so marketing services, let's just jot this down real quick. Now, we obviously want to dive into this in a lot more detail, give you some examples of what those services are, but ultimately, before we do that, there's ultimately two ways of looking at what you're offering, okay? Number one is that you are going to offer to a business to basically assist what they're doing to help them make more money. That's your first option, right? Make more money. If you can do this, with obviously a profitable setup where a business pays you X and you make them X times 2, businesses are always going to pay for that. Every business wants to make more money, so if you can offer that, you're going to have clients, not a problem, okay? Now, the second thing that you can do, because it's not all about money is obviously a very big one, so if you can make a business money, they're going to be happy to pay you. Like if you're able to make me more money, I would happily pay you every single month, right? It's very logical. Now, secondly, like I said, it's not all about money. There's other things that businesses want from you and other services that they're going to pay you for. Okay, so the second thing is that you're going to save them time. If you can either make them money or save them time, you will be guaranteed to get yourself some clients. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to break into examples of marketing services that you can offer as a social media marketing agency and what other agencies offer. And I'm also going to categorize them into these two parts. Number one, does it make them more money? Or two, does it save them more time? Now, obviously, some services are going to do both. If you can do that and you can do both, that's amazing. You're hitting a double whammy right there. You're hitting them with two benefits rather than just one. But again, I'm going to break those into segments as much as I can so you can fully understand which kind of narrative you want to pursue. I would say that number one, making a business more money is more preferable, okay? Yes, like I said, there's a lot of services you can offer that can save a business time, but the one in which you can make them more money is just going to be more desirable. So I'm going to start listing out a list of services here, and again, let's categorize them and follow those 2 points, okay? So making a business more money. Advertising, okay? Facebook ads, Google ads, or anything related to advertising, okay? That's essentially a concept where a business pays you X and you turn that into 2X or 3X or 4X or even more, okay? So Facebook ads, Google ads, anything like this. These are obviously skills that are a little bit trickier to master than something like social media management, copywriting, or email marketing, okay? These are more higher ticket, okay? So when you are looking at these services, you're looking at charging probably at least $1,000 per month. Okay, now if you look at other services, which we're going to get into, you'll see that there's other things that you can start off with that are much cheaper to offer. Okay, so social media management or content creation is a cheaper service you can offer. So if you're just getting started, that might make more sense for you. Okay, so Facebook ads, Google ads, anything to do with advertising is basically going to fall into this category of making a business more money. So you could look at influencer marketing. Okay, that's obviously a very trendy one in the last couple of years, but we've also got a ton of things such as copywriting, okay? Copywriting, email marketing, and a really big one here is actually sales, okay? So this is probably the biggest one, the one that hits this number one the most. So sales is the thing that's going to make a business more money and is going to hit them right with that. That's essentially all you're doing with sales. Now, what I want to kind of do here is give you rough estimates of each one, what you would charge, and what ones are easiest. right? So we've kind of looked at the advertising route of Facebook ads or Google ads. You're probably looking at least 1K per month. That's what you're charging. But again, it comes with a lot of expertise, very, very technical skill, and something that not just everyone can offer. Now, influencer marketing is really going to depend on like the scale of the influencer marketing, right? So if you just want to help a business find 10 influencers per month for their business, you're probably not looking at 1K per month. You're probably looking at a few hundred. But if you were doing a wide scale, huge scale launch for a product, then you're going to be looking more towards the 1-2K mark, okay? But roughly speaking, for average businesses and smaller businesses, definitely within the 100 range, okay? So maybe 500 we're going to put down. Now, copywriting, this is one that really, again, is going to depend on the amount of copywriting you're doing. So, for example, a business might hire you once off to rewrite loads of ads for them, or maybe even rewrite their website. And that's the kind of thing that you might get a decent amount of money for, but you're not going to get that from that same business every month, right? So it's kind of like a one-off deal. Now, with that, you could be getting paid a couple of grand. Now, if you want to offer copywriting on an ongoing service or on an ongoing basis, what you can do is set up a retainer with the client where, let's say, you come in and you write 4 emails for them per month, or you write 5 ads for them per month, right? So in that case, you're probably going to charge a price per piece, you know? So you would obviously have to decide yourself how much work goes into it and what it's worth in your time. A rough retainer for copywriters is probably between the 500 to 1K per month. Again, now I'm giving you low figures. There's people who do Facebook ads that charge 10K per month. There's people who do influencer marketing and charge 20K per month. But I'm just giving you kind of average, smaller numbers that are general for beginners and for smaller businesses. So email marketing is something that obviously links quite directly to copywriting. Okay, so copywriting is essentially writing stuff. Okay, so writing stuff that's going to sell more products, or, you know, talk about a new launch campaign. Okay, now email marketing obviously links very much to that, right? You know, to send an email out, you obviously have to have that written content within the email. But email marketing can be kind of broken down into a bit more complexity in the fact that email marketing can come into, you know, more of a weekly schedule. You sending out maybe 2 emails for a business per week, or sending out their newsletter once a month, or it could be setting up a huge email campaign that they're going to send to every new customer. So email marketing, again, is going to be more of a retainer setup, and you're probably looking at, you know, at least 1K per month. Of course, all of these prices, as I've already said, depend on like the scale of what you're doing and the scale of the business. Email marketing, right? If you're going to do that for, say, a business that is pulling in 10K per month in revenue, you're probably not going to charge them 1K because they're not going to have a huge amount of margins. Where if a business is doing, let's say, 50 grand in revenue per month, charging 1K is definitely doable, definitely attainable, as long as you can follow the methodology of they pay you X and you make them 2X, right? So obviously with all of this stuff, if you're getting paid 1K or 500 or 1.5K, whatever it is, your goal when you're selling a service with the aim of making a business more money is that you actually make them more money, right? That's how you're going to see longevity with social media marketing and how you're actually going to keep a lot of your clients on. Okay, so I'm just going to put that here. That is a huge prerequisite. If you're going down this route of number 1, making more money, you have to make them more money. Otherwise, they're not going to stay on. So a good rule of thumb is that, for example, if you get paid 1,000, you want to aim to make them roughly between, you know, at least 1.5, but preferably 2 times their money. So you're turning that 1K and you're turning that into, say, 2K, okay? If you can't do this, or this seems like it's a bit too much of a risk for you or something that you don't think you're going to be able to do, I would suggest looking more at these services where you're going to save them time rather than just save them money. If you're going to offer email marketing, you can package this to talk about how you're going to make them more money, but you're also going to save them time. That way, if you make them 1K per month and they pay you 1K, they're still going to be happy because you saved them a bunch of time. And realistically, you can talk about these 2 things with any of these services. So if you're offering Facebook ads, you can also say that, look, we're going to make you more money, but we are actually going to save you a lot more time as well, because they may have been running the ads themselves. They could have hired someone to do it already, or they could have had someone they know running the ads for them. So you are going to be hitting those 2 benefits of saving them time, making them more money. But again, definitely focus more on part 2, saving a business more money or saving a business more time, if you don't think you're going to be able to actually make them more money. So the services in which you're going to save them time, right? These are going to be more so along the lines of things like social media management. So like managing their Instagram page or their Facebook page, creating content, this kind of thing. Again, that could be creating content for their Instagram, whether that's videos, whether it's taking photos for a local business, or, it's drafting up a really nice graphic. But again, I do really want to stress that, these things, although they're going to save them time, can make them more money as well. So a lot of this comes down to how you position yourself, right? You can offer Facebook ads and say, I'm going to save you time, or you could offer social media management and say, I'm going to make you money, right? There's no right or wrong. It's just that certain marketing services are more so inclined to make a business more money, and then other ones are more inclined to save them more time. But ultimately, you do want to try and link it to both of those. So if you are going to create content, do stress the fact that you can create content that's going to sell more products for them or push more people to their website, but you're also going to save them that time as well. Okay, so just want to put that here, that you want to stress the 2 points, 1 and 2. You want to save the time, and you want to make the money, okay? Because ultimately, I could give you another list of 20 or 30 other services, but as long as you can find something that hits the 2 of these, you're on a winner, okay? You're not going to have a problem selling that as long as you can do that. Okay, so look, that's a rough look at the services you can offer. We've obviously looked at rough prices or rough fees you can expect to get. Again, I'm just going to give you them here for these two, as I did not do them. So social media management, again, is going to be more on the lower end, probably 500 or less, I would say, per month. Again, if you're working with a huge company, of course, you can start charging way, way more. Creating content, similarly, probably going to be more so around the 500 mark. So now you know what exactly a social media marketing agency does, right? It's essentially offering a marketing service. Your next step now is to look at those services and again, pick something that's going to hit the 2 key points. Once you've done that, you've got a couple other things to look at. So that's your step number 1, is find your service, right? That is something you're going to spend a lot of time on, because ultimately you want to find something that, interests you, that you actually enjoy doing, is not too hard for you, and something that intrigues you, but something you know a lot about, right? There's no point going in saying, hey, I'm going to do Facebook ads, and you don't even know what a Facebook ad is or what a Facebook pixel is or even anything to do with Facebook ads, right? So pick something that you already know a bit about. So if you're just starting off, right, you know nothing about any of these, one thing I bet you that you know a bit about is social media management. Posting stuff on Instagram stories, replying to comments, replying to DMs. Very, very easy to do, right? Now, when you've got a service, the second thing you got to look at is a niche, right? So essentially a niche is going to be basically a group or a target market that you want to specifically provide your service to. Okay, so your niche could be, for example, gyms. It could be restaurants. It could be whatever you choose. Again, you want to pick it to be something that you know a bit about, right? There's no point of me going to a real estate lawyer and saying, hey, I'm going to help you get more clients. I'm going to help you make more money. And then they ask me some bunch of questions about, do I know their business model or do I know how they actually make money? And I'd probably say, no, I don't have a clue, right? So ultimately, you want to do something that you actually know a bit about. So in my case, I go to the gym. I've been going for years. I know how they make money. I know what kind of prices they charge. So it would make complete sense for me to do that, right? So that's what you want to do here. Again, follow this, something that interests you and something you know a lot about. And then the final part, which is the juiciest part and definitely the most important, of course, you got to have a service, you got to have a niche, very, very important. But actually getting clients is the big one, all right? You can spend all your time finding the perfect service, the perfect niche, the perfect offer. But if you don't get clients, you're going nowhere. So to get clients, really, it comes down to a few things. One of the major things is that you got to really understand your target market, right? So you got to understand the niche you're talking to, and you got to be able to craft a message to them that resonates with them, right? So what this usually is going to look like is that you find a business and you, let's say, DM them on Instagram or you email them. At this stage, you're trying to get them to, show interest, show to you that, they have an interest in what you offer. And ultimately here, you want to push them to get on a call with you. Now, at this stage, you still don't have a client. You could hop on the call and you could decide that they don't have any money, or they might say to you that they don't trust you. And there's not a whole lot you can do with things like that, right? But it's quite a process here of getting clients. You've got this is stage 1, is basically finding the people and initiating contact. Number 2 is actually kind of creating the relationship, I would say. because this is where you really get to talk to the person, the business owner, one-on-one, and really show to them that you know what you're talking about. And then finally, that's, step number 3 is when you're actually going to get paid and you're actually going to sign a client, right? Now, one thing I want to say to you, and this is one thing I live furiously by, is that you don't have a client or you haven't signed a client up until they have paid you. It doesn't matter if you DM them, you hop on a call and they're super excited to work with you. They say to you, look, I'm going to pay you by Monday. That's not a client, okay? That's just someone who's actually interested. Until you get the cash in the bank, you don't have a client. Okay, and the last thing that we want to go over is what I mentioned at the start, is that what do I do as an agency owner? Like, what does my day-to-day look like, or what do I do on a weekly basis? Because obviously I don't just spend my time delivering the service, or doing that for them. Obviously, a lot of your time is going to be spent on different things, right? So a lot of my time is going to be spent on sales, right? So doing this 3-step process that I've just described to you here of contacting businesses, getting on calls, building relationships, and actually then signing clients. And for me, this is the most important thing, right? This is what I spend most of my time doing and trying to improve on. Now, secondly, you're going to have to then, like I said, spend time delivering that service. If you get a client for Facebook ads, you got to deliver. You got to do the Facebook ads. You got to get good results, and you got to make sure you're on top of that. Okay, so those 2 are going to be extremely important when you're starting off. Now, when you're starting off, that's probably going to be it. You're going to do the sales, you're going to deliver the service. There's not much else you have to worry about. As you grow and as you get more clients, a lot more complexity is going to come into the picture, but it's fun, right? So there are things that you're going to have to do that may not directly bring you in money, but they're going to push your company and your agency forward. So this is going to be things like, hiring staff, okay? Eventually you want to obviously move out of delivering the service, and you want to have people around you that can support you or even take over all of the work for you, so you can spend all of your time on the sales and the making money part of the business. So hiring staff is going to be a huge thing that you're doing. But then when you have the staff, you're going to focus on a lot is team building, right? So actually, let's say you've hired 3 people. You want to make sure that they, all know each other. They've got a really good environment and they're all learning from each other. And most importantly, you are learning from them. And you're learning how you can support them to make them do better work, but also to enjoy their work more, because if they enjoy their work more with you, they're going to do better work and you're going to have a better relationship with them. And then realistically, when you grow and let's say you get to the stage where you're bringing in maybe 10K per month or even 15K per month as an agency owner, there's going to be a lot more complexity. Like I just said, you're going to have things that really just come down to, running the business. So this is going to be, bank accounts, legal things, accountants, all of that, which obviously doesn't sound very sexy or fun, but it's just a part of the game. It's something you're going to have to do. But when you're only starting off, you don't need to worry about it. You just got to worry on these 2 things here. So, I see this all the time. People ask me, do I need a team? Do I need to hire people to do this? I don't have money to hire people. You don't need to do that. You only need to do that when you start growing, right? So you might look at hiring staff when you have like 5 clients. Until then, you don't have to worry a thing about staff. You don't even know how to go about doing it or know anything about it. Same with building a team. You don't need to do that again until you actually have staff. And at that stage, you're probably going to need to have a few staff members. So there's no point building a team if it's just you and one person. There's not really much to do there. Whereas when you have, let's say, 2 or 3 staff, that's when you got to start that process. So if you are a beginner, which, most people watching this video are probably beginners or people who have just started off or, haven't even really heard much about it and just want to get started, you're going to be in this area. You're going to be in, focusing on sales and service delivery. That's your 2 key things. And the best thing that you can do if you're in this scenario is to just forget about all this. Like, just forget I even said about hiring staff and things like that. You just got to black that out of your mind, and you got to literally say to yourself, these are the only 2 things that matter for me with this business. If I can master these 2 things, then I will obviously create the opportunity for me to worry about this because I've grown a business, I need to hire staff. Until then, do not worry. Okay guys, so that just about wraps up the video. What we covered really was, what the title suggested, what a social media marketing agency does. I've given you some examples of services you can offer. We kind of talked about the price points as well that you can expect to charge for these services. And then we took a look into what I do, what does running an agency look like in terms of, the things I got to do on a daily basis, but the bigger picture. What does it look like running this type of business? If you enjoyed this type of video, please do let me know below. And if you have suggestions for other video topics that I should touch on, definitely let me know as well. And while you're here, you may as well go down and smash the like button, pound the subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you can see my next video in the next week or so.